start with Dan. So Dan, Dan is my business partner, and we do a lot of fixing and flipping together and wholesaling and everything like that. Dan knows everything about this, which is awesome. And Dan has some great stories on some deals we've done together, some deals we've done separate. So he's going to tell you guys how to wholesale a deal in Austin, Texas. So thank you, Dan. Round of applause for Dan.
Who doesn't know what wholesaling is? When we say the term wholesaling, is there anybody out there who says, I don't know what that is? It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. Well, just in case y'all are lying, somebody else doesn't know. Wholesaling is basically when you get something under contract with a homeowner and you somehow market and sell that contract. You can do it a number of ways. The two most common ways are to sign that contract and take a fee for that assignment, or you can do a simultaneous close where you actually buy and sell the property the same day. The great thing about both of those is it doesn't take a lot of money to make money by wholesaling property. Usually I get away with $110. So not too bad, right? $10 for an option period, 21 to 30 days, and $100 in earnest money is usually what I put up on a contract. Then I will sell that. How much can you make on a wholesale sale? Anybody know? How much you want, right? I mean, as much meat as there is on that bone you can make. So just as long as who you're selling it to is going to make money as well. You're typically selling to other investors. So maybe you find a property that needs a ton of work, but you don't want to do the work. Which, by the way, is my favorite thing about wholesaling, is you make money, but you don't take all the risk. Not that I don't like doing rehab projects too, but sometimes just getting in and out is a lot of fun. So, if you find this property, and let's say you have, at our standard 70% minus repair formula, maybe about $10,000 less than that. If you got it under contract for $10,000 less than that, you think I can sell that contract to somebody in this room for $10,000? Absolutely. In fact, I probably have sold that to somebody in this room for $10,000. So there's three main aspects to wholesaling that I wanted to talk about tonight. Just kind of like 3 points that I think will make you better at it if you want to go do it. So the first thing that happens is you get a lead. Now, I'm not going to talk about marketing and how you get those leads. You're going to have to go figure that out or find that out from somewhere else. But let's assume you got a lead. You get a phone call. What should be your number one goal on that phone call? Especially if you're just starting out. What should be your number one goal on the phone call? Anybody got an answer? Get an appointment. Yes, thank you. Right. When should you make that appointment? Should it be next week? Yeah. Now. How's now look? What's your now look like? Right? I used to, the market does change. You know, I just demonstrated that right now. And I would tell you that a couple years ago, it was easy for me to say, no, I booked all my appointments. In fact, I gave this speech and I probably said that. I tried to book all my appointments on one day, right? Make my life easier. And during the day, not the evening. I don't want to do the weekends, right? But we're in a little bit different market now. So our leads are a little bit harder to get and wholesale deals are harder to get. So if you want to get that deal, get out there, like now. So that's all I really worry about on the phone. I don't even ask any other questions, truthfully. I know people do, and I'm not saying that that's the right thing or the wrong thing to do, but I just want to know when I can go out there. That's all I want to know. So, the second thing, wait. I forgot. So I had a couple of objections, common objections on the phone. Okay. I would like to know what you're going to offer first before you come out. Who's heard that one? Yes, right. So this is what I say. I say, how would I know? I haven't seen the property. Right? Makes sense? So, I don't know what I'm going to offer. I don't know that I can offer anything. What I really want to do is come out and see the property, come see the neighborhood, come talk to you, find out more about the house, the situation, what kind of repairs need to be done. And at that point, then I can evaluate the situation and think of probably 2 or 3 options that are going to be available to you. Some will involve me, some won't. Doesn't matter to me what you pick, but I'm going to give you all the options that are available to you. That's how I put it. That usually gets them off of that, and we get the appointment. So, I don't know my schedule. Why don't I find out and I'll call you back. I don't know if I can do Thursday or Friday. Who's heard that one? Right? My answer is, hey, no problem. I'm going to put you down for Thursday. Okay? If you can't do Thursday, then call me back. Because the worst thing that happens when they say, I don't know if I can do Thursday or Friday, is you don't hear back from them. And you start calling them, and they don't call you back. So if I book the appointment for Thursday and let them try to call me back to cancel, one of 2 things is going to happen. I'm going to show up at the door, or they're going to call me. So I'm still going to talk to them again. I have one more objection. It's vacant. You can just go see it. Not a lot you can do when they're out of state, but if they're still in state and they're still in town, I don't, no thanks. I want to meet you there. It's really important because that's my best time to talk to them, right? So don't agree to that. Just always meet them out and meet you. Okay, so the second part of wholesaling then, you got the appointment, is going to the seller's house, right? What should be your #1 goal when you go to the seller's house? Get a contract. God, you guys are well trained. Good job, Sean. That's awesome. Yes, get a contract. What if you do the formula and you give them the offer and they won't take it, they want $10,000 more, what should you do? You got an answer? I just do the contract anyway. Sure, okay. Right? Why not? I don't believe. Let me ask you this: when you go to meet a seller, are you there to buy property, or are you there to sell something? You're there to sell something, and you got to just get used to that. I mean, if you're going to be in this business and you're going to go meet sellers, you're there to sell the sellers. And what you're selling them on is you're selling them on that you are their solution. Right? So it doesn't matter what the contract is. As long as they're bought into the fact that you're the solution, then we can work out a deal eventually. Right? So all I care about is convincing them that if this house can be sold, I'm the guy who can do it. And I don't pretend to know what the house is worth, right? I mean, we can all do comps, we can all evaluate repairs, we can all do our little formula, but who's done that and been wrong? Right? So why are you going to pass up on that deal and just assume that that $10,000 is a deal killer? I put things that I thought no way anybody's going to buy up, and people buy them. Sometimes, not always, but I'm a golfer, and so I like golf analogies. I'm not a good golfer, but I try. So one thing we always talk about when we're up putting is if you leave the putt short, it will not go in 100% of the time. Right? So if you come away without a contract, you're not going to make money 100% of the time. But if you come away with a contract that maybe is for too much, it's still got a chance. Right? And can you renegotiate with the seller later? Absolutely. So always, always, always try to get the contract. Then my last little aspect of it is then how do I sell that? A lot of it is in the setup of when you're talking with the sellers. So I think that too many people get themselves into a trap of thinking that they need to convince the seller that they're going to buy the property. But are you there to buy the property, or are you there to sell yourself? Right. So why take yourself into that corner and say, no matter what, I am closing on this property in 30 days, it's a done deal, I got the cash, let's sign, right? I mean, that's tempting to do. Sounds pretty convincing. But it kind of makes it hard to wholesale a property because they want to know why you're bringing all these people out there, right? You already know you're just going to buy it, right? All of a sudden there's 40 investors coming over to my house. What's the deal with that? So it's much smarter to sell them that you are the solution. Because I'll tell them, hey, look, when we sign this contract, what we're really signing is that I'm going to work for you. And I'm going to spend the next 21 days of our option period, bringing out hard money lenders, private money lenders, potential partners, potential other investors who may want to buy this property. I'm going to bring out contractors. I'm going to do everything I can to do all the due diligence that needs to be done in this house by somebody. Might as well be me. So that we can figure out, and I'm going to do the best job that I can to get you the price that we agreed on in one way or another. That's my whole goal when we sign this contract. So now are they open to me bringing out other people to look at the property? Sure, why not? All they care about is that they're going to get that money. So it makes the sale a lot easier when you sell them that you're going to work for them. Okay. You know, I'm convinced, obviously I'm saying I want to buy this property, which I do. I always want to buy the property. But sometimes when I look at it later, my best exit strategy is to sell the contract and move on. And not necessarily because of the deal, but maybe because of what's going on in my business at the time. So, when you bring buyers out, there's one question you should always ask of other investors. So you decided probably your best exit strategy here is to wholesale. I don't always have $100,000 sitting in my back pocket, so sometimes $10,000 sounds awesome, right? So wholesaling, you know, maybe your best strategy if it is, and you bring the buyers out, and they say, "Oh, that's too much for me." What should you ask them? What would you pay? Right? So if you're marketing this thing, you're trying to get a $20,000 wholesale fee. You got it under contract for $140. You're selling it for $160. You're bringing 20 people out. And I'll say, man, $160 is too much. And I'm asking, well, what would you pay? And I get $145, $147, $148. Can I go back to the seller and say, hey, $135 really would work a lot better? Sure, I can. I've had it where people are telling me less than what I've had it under contract for. And I'll go back to the seller and say, man, I've done all this due diligence. I brought all those people out. You saw how much work I did because you saw all these people coming through. And I harassed you and made appointments. And, you know, I was doing the best I can as fast as I could. And the general conclusion is that we're just too high. So if we can come down to this, I've got everything lined up and we'll close in a couple weeks. So another reason always to get it under contract, right? Always. I'm going to go over a little pet peeve. So what I see on the RENC board when people try to wholesale property is they really want to sell me on that property, right? They really want to tell me that, man, it's got this great kitchen, and man, if you just did this, you have this awesome backyard, it backs up to a green belt, and I just go on to the next RENC message, right? Because it really doesn't interest me. What interests me? Numbers, absolutely. And it'll interest your buyers a lot more. So a good wholesale message is, hey, here's the ARV, right? After repaired value. Here's what the repairs I think are going to cost. Here's what I'm offering it at. That's all you really need to say. Hey, oh, last one. Here's the address, please, right?
What town?
Yeah, where is it? Pinpoint that for me. Yeah, I mean, information. I mean, that's what we're all after. I mean, we're not John and Jane Doe looking for a house to live in, and we really want to know that the kitchen's on the south side. All right, we're looking to make money, so we need to know what the formula is. Now, I know that then everybody says, now do your own due diligence, and you should, right? But if the ARV you come up with is 180, should you just put like 220 on the ring? You know, why not, right? I'll just squeeze it up. Maybe somebody will think it's worth that much. I'll throw in some comps and take out the bad ones, and you know, it needs a new roof, foundation's cracked, you know, it's missing sheetrock, but it needs $5,000 to repair. You know, it's good, right? Reputation is everything in this business, and I, take care of my buyers, and I give my buyers the truth. All right. Do we sometimes disagree on what the ARV is? Sure. Do we sometimes disagree on what the repairs are? Yes. Mostly because I generally kind of guess. I don't really, necessarily bring out a contractor before I put it out to my buyers. But I'm usually fairly close. I'm in the ballpark, right? Not way off. So, I think that my buyers like the fact and respect the fact that when they see something and they can look at it and go, is that a deal that I would do right away? Then they'll go do their due diligence. The worst thing you can do is waste somebody's time. And when I see somebody put on an ARV of 250 and I go look and it's 180, you just wasted my time. And I stop reading your messages. All right, I'm out of time, so